The Indomitable drifted into Kepler Station's orbit like a ghost from humanity's past. Admiral Zara Okafor watched from the station's observation deck as the massive vessel emerged from the jump point, its hull scarred by countless battles, its design dating back nearly 2 centuries. To most of the galaxy, it was a relic, a museum piece that should have been scrapped decades ago. To the assembled fleet commanders now frantically recalculating their positions, it was something else entirely. "Sir," came the trembling voice of Lieutenant Vextar, a young Altarian whose blue skin had gone pale. "The human vessel. It's broadcasting on all frequencies." Fleet Commander Korthak of the Hegemony Alliance turned his 6 eyes toward the communications array. Around them, the bridge of the Sovereign's wrath buzzed with nervous energy. "What are they saying?" Just their ship's designation and a request for docking clearance, sir." Korthak's mandibles clicked in what his species considered laughter, though there was no humor in it. The human ship hung there alone against a combined fleet of 47 vessels from 6 different species. By all military doctrine, it should have been vaporized the moment it appeared. But nobody moved. "Commander," his tactical officer whispered, Shall we respond to their hail?" Before Korthak could answer, another voice cut through the bridge's comm system. Admiral Yinth of the Crystalline Confederacy, her voice sharp with barely controlled panic. "All ships maintain current positions. Do not engage without direct authorization." The irony wasn't lost on any of them. 6 months ago, they had gathered here to divide human space among themselves. Humanity had been pushed back to their core, worlds, their fleet scattered, their technology considered primitive by galactic standards. The humans still used kinetic weapons when everyone else had moved to plasma and particle beams. They still relied on crude fusion reactors instead of the elegant zero-point energy systems. Their ships were slow, ungainly things that looked like they'd been assembled in a junkyard. But then the Battle of Proxima had happened. Korthak's second heart began beating faster as he remembered the reports. A single human dreadnought, this very ship, the Indomitable, had faced down the entire Third Fleet of the Zephyrian Empire. 32 ships against 1. 32 ships that were now debris floating in the void around Proxima Centauri. "Sir?" Lieutenant Vextar's voice cracked. "The station is... They're granting docking clearance to the human vessel." Of course they were. Kepler Station's administrator was Terran after all, a grizzled woman named Chen who'd watched alien fleets gather in her system like vultures. Now she was probably smiling. The Indomitable began its approach to the station, and Korthak found himself studying its design with new eyes. Those angular lines that had seemed so primitive now looked purposeful. Those massive gun batteries that had appeared outdated now seemed ominous. Even the ship's movement, slow and deliberate, felt less like clumsiness and more like the measured pace of an apex predator. "Commander Korthak," came Admiral Yinth's voice again, this time on a private channel. "We need to discuss our options." Within minutes, the combined fleet's senior officers were in emergency conference. The holographic display showed the positions of all 47 ships, arranged in what had been considered an overwhelming show of force. Now, with the Indomitable slowly making its way to dock, the formation looked less like a fleet and more like targets. "It's just one ship," General Threx of the Mokari Dominion growled, his massive frame dwarfing the other holographic projections. "One ancient, obsolete ship." "Ancient and obsolete," Admiral Yinth replied coldly. "Just like the ship that destroyed the Zephyrian Third Fleet. Just like the ship that held the line at Earth's moon for 6 hours against impossible odds. Just like the ship that—" "We know the reports," Korthak interrupted. "But reports can be exaggerated." The conference fell silent as they all contemplated what they knew to be true. The humans fought differently. Where other species had embraced energy weapons for their precision and efficiency, humans had perfected kinetic warfare to a terrifying degree. Their railguns could punch through shielding that stopped plasma beams cold. Their missile systems, primitive as they seemed, delivered nuclear warheads that cared nothing for energy-dampening fields. But it wasn't just their weapons. It was how they used them. The humans had learned something the galaxy had forgotten. In its rush toward technological sophistication, sometimes the old ways worked best. While their enemies optimized for duels between individual ships, humans had perfected the art of coordinated, overwhelming firepower. The Indomitable didn't fight like a ship, it fought like a fortress that happened to be mobile. "Sir," came a new voice, Captain Veltar of the light cruiser Swift Strike. "The human ship, it's requesting a meeting with all fleet commanders." The silence stretched for long moments. "They want to talk?" General Threx asked, incredulous. "It seems so, sir. The message is quite polite. They're inviting us aboard Kepler Station for diplomatic discussions." Korthak's mandibles clicked again, this time with genuine amusement. "Diplomatic discussions. After positioning the most feared ship in human space in the middle of our fleet." "The most feared ship in any space," Admiral Yinth corrected quietly. As if summoned by their conversation, a new signal began broadcasting from the Indomitable. Not words this time, but data, technical specifications, the ship's true capabilities laid bare for all to see. The numbers were sobering. "By the void," whispered Captain Veltar. "Those reactor outputs, those aren't fusion signatures." Korthak studied the data streaming across his display. The humans had been very clever, he realized. While the galaxy had assumed their technology was primitive, they'd been innovating in directions no one had thought to look. The Indomitable wasn't powered by fusion reactors, it was powered by something far more dangerous. "Sir," Lieutenant Vextar's voice was barely audible now. "The human ship it's sending another message." "What now?" "Just 5 words, sir. Shall we discuss terms peacefully?" Korthak looked at the tactical display, at the 47 ships that had come to carve up human space, now frozen in orbit around a single ancient warship. He thought about the Battle of Proxima, about the scattered reports of human primitive technology doing impossible things, about the fact that somehow, despite being outnumbered 47-1, it was the humans who were dictating the terms of engagement. "Admiral," he said into the conference channel, "I believe we may have miscalculated." The Indomitable completed its docking procedures with Kepler Station, its massive bulk now nestled against the civilian structure like a sleeping giant. Across the system, 47 warships held their positions, their crews trying to process what had just happened. Humanity's obsolete warship had arrived, and somehow, without firing a single shot, it had just won the war.